So NBA 2K26 just released its first gameplay trailer alongside a hefty courtside report blog. In this video, we're gonna discuss the new mechanics, the new gameplay features, and a lot of comparisons between 2K26 and 2K25, breaking down whether it's the same game all over again or whether 2K26 is a genuine leap in gameplay based on what we've seen so far. We're gonna talk about the post-game, pro play, shooting, controls, skill-based gameplay, and the ethos for 2K26, but let's start with one of the fundamentals of 2K, and that is shooting. So 2K25, a lot of people hated the shooting just because it introduced a lot of random numbers game or RNG. That is, you didn't need to green your shot, and because of RNG, you can actually make ridiculous shots that you shouldn't be able to. Well, in 2K26, green or miss shot timing is back. That means you have to time your shot perfectly. Your green windows will scale based on the difficulty of the mode, and there will be no RNG in 2K26, the first in any 2K of its kind, removing shot profiles as well. The combination of these two changes will lead to a more skill-based gameplay in theory, but there is some cause for concern if the tuning of the green windows isn't up to par. We still may see a lot of people struggle with shooting in 2K26, so that's where the changes in the contest system will be important. I like the contest system in 2K25, but 2K said they changed the logic of the contest system to tune hands-up defenses, jump contests, so on and so forth. A concern with these changes, of course, is how 2K will deal with cheaters who like to use Zens. Now with a pure green window and no RNG, that's gonna be a tough challenge. Next, let's talk about improved rhythm shooting. So NBA 2K25 introduced rhythm shooting, which is a skill-based mechanic that should enhance your ability to make shots. It's basically this two-button input, tapping the right stick down and then flicking it up as you match your shooter's motion. This is enhanced in NBA 2K26, but now you don't have a specific set point, meaning you can release your shot whether early or late. What will impact the success of your rhythm shot is the tempo, which is the second input for the right stick. What this does is now it gives you more control over your shot more than ever. So for example, in 2K25, you could throw up an early or quick shot, but only contextual, for example, when the shot clock is running out. In NBA 2K26, you could have faster timed jump shots based on the speed of your right stick input for the first flick. According to Mike Wang, there's still an ideal time for your timing window. It also will help you match the tempo of your shot, but even if you miss the timing window, as long as your tempo is correct, you will green your shot. So for practical applications, think of Steph Curry's different quick releases, especially when someone's closing out hard, or the Joker who delays his release, especially against tough defenders like AD. But a big question is whether rhythm shooting will have that same advantage it had in 2K25, which was significant. And according to Mike Wang, the goal was to make them both viable, with neither option having an advantage over the other. But I think the main advantage is that you'll be able to rush your shots or even delay your shot in certain situations which need it. So let's also look at the other ways 2K26 tries to enhance skill-based gameplay, primarily by giving the users more control and enhancing the speed of the gameplay. So take a look at these two clips. This is 2K26 right here versus 2K25. We don't really have a lot of raw gameplay to go by with yet, but bear with me right here. Take a look at the speed in which you're able to break out of your explosive decel into the next crossover in 2K26 versus in 2K25. It's a subtle difference, but that difference can be huge in practical terms. Take a look, we've already exploded to our right in 2K26, but in 2K25, you're still in that hang animation. For the people that complained about the speed of 2K25, this could be huge if those differences in speed actually matter in gameplay terms. Next is a cool new mechanic that a lot of NBA players are now doing, which are your no-dip catch and shoots. So as a spot-up shooter, for example, you're gonna need to hold L2 and then from there initiate your shooting motion either by using square or the shot stick. This will initiate a no-dip or a quick catch and shoot motion that should give you an advantage for a lot of people closing out. So Nick Batum is famous for this, so is D'Angelo Russell. It just gives you a way to beat defenders who try to close out aggressively, which will make you a better shooter and a more punishing shooter if the defense sags off. Next, we have the quick protect mechanic, which again you do by tapping L2. As soon as someone initiates a steal, it will give you a nice protect the ball animation, which in this case also includes a dribble move. So think of it as a great way to counter defenses that like to spam the steal button. The great thing about this mechanic is it puts you in a position to blow by your defender, and skill-based gameplay now extends to rebounding. Now you're going to want to time the rebound when the final bounce hits the rim, and then press triangle to make that rebound. As you can see here, there's a green animation for a perfectly timed rebound. Some additional skill-based mechanics include slow decel Euro steps, which again you hold L2 as you're initiating a Euro step, a wrap pass, which basically wraps the ball around your defender instead of a straight line pass. In 2K26, now when you initiate alley-oops, it's not only a guaranteed press of the square button, now other face buttons are options as well. They've also added positioning to how you set your screens to give your teammates a better angle, for example. All welcome additions. Let's see how it plays out. Next, I want to talk about the new motion engine, which is now powered by ProPlay. So once again, ProPlay is a technology that 2K uses to capture accurate moves from NBA games and translate them into NBA 2K, which they started in 2K24. But now with 2K26, ProPlay extends to overall motion, which will also mean that this translates to not just your shot creation moves, but also defense and off-ball movement. So I want you to take a look at how Tyrese Haliburton is running out of this down screen, then rotating his body and drifting back into the three-point line. One of the biggest weaknesses of NBA 2K25 was people found ways to abuse the off-ball movement system, which was slidey, gave unnatural speed boosts, and as a result, guys with high speed could abuse this mechanic and get easy buckets. But I have a theory that 2K25 sort of started to introduce the new motion engine. Take a look at Steph Curry as he drifts toward the corner here. He gives you a more lifelike natural backpedal into the three-point line to set his feet and make that easy shot. Probably early implementation, but what we're gonna see in 2K26 is a full implementation. Take a look at this pass from James Harden and catch by Bogdanovic. After the 1-2 catch, he's able to plant his feet to give you a natural jump shot without having to fade. Same thing here with both Steph and Donovan Mitchell. Take a look at how they move out of these curl plays into a natural catch and shoot motion. And while you might think that 2K25 does the same thing, there are little details that show you that 2K25's implementation was not quite there yet. Take a look at Steph's feet as he exits the screen from Jimmy Butler. Look at that unnatural slide motion, but he still plants his feet because I think the tech was still in its early days, but 2K26 should be better. And all that NBA data will be run through a machine learning algorithm to basically inform NBA 2K gameplay how to move naturally according to their real-life counterparts. With dynamic motion matching in the lower body as well, it should in theory help foot planting, which has been a problem for 2K for a long time now. What this does is, in theory, should allow the players to firmly plant their feet and get into more natural motions and avoid a lot of the sliding, warping, and teleporting that was a plague for past 2Ks. If you take at NBA 2K25, once again, I think that the system, at least in play now modes, was already there. Take a look at Steph exited that screen, decelerated, and planted his feet. Next is a big thing, in my opinion, a refresh of the post-game with new moves, including a new signature go-to shot. So if you didn't know, go-to shots were already introduced in 2K24. What you're seeing right here is a go-to shot from Steph Curry. Basically, you hold the right stick up while dribbling the ball or in a triple threat position to execute a combo of dribble moves that ends with a signature shot. This now extends to the post-game as you see Nikola Jokic do a nice pivot swing into a baby hook shot here. That looks sweet. For DeRozan, it's a nice fake spin to the middle and a counter fadeaway jump shot. This deepens the post bag in ways you can't imagine. I just hope guys like Kobe and MJ have their own, but guys like Jalen Brunson and potentially Anthony Edwards with a lot of their up and unders and step throughs should have a deep bag as well. And 2K talked about new defensive upgrades, but they were honestly a little bit underwhelming, relying mostly on their new body up and collision system, which will determine both perimeter defense and interior defense. The skill-based gameplay mechanics also took that to the defensive side of the floor, so it should also dictate how successful blocks, steals, and interceptions are, but mostly it's built on the new defensive bump and collision system that should allow for both freedom of movement and natural and dynamic interactions. Take a look at this situation right here with all three green shading indicators lit. This should be an easy 2 points for Trae Young, but the Iron Fox is able to slide in position to contest that and guard that the right way. 2K also talks about an improved collision system for interior defense and on-air contests, but once again, I'm not sure how this will play out, especially since the lack of fouls was a big issue in 2K25. And let's end it with some other news and notes, especially from the tweets from Mike Wang. First question is, are adrenaline bars making a comeback? Yes, they are. They've been tuned a little bit now. If you spam escape moves, or if you spam off-ball cuts and off-ball dexes, as the community likes to call it, you will get penalized by a loss of an adrenaline bar. Also, as you can see here, the green windows from previous 2K's returns, although the shot meter is new to 2K25. What you can see here as well is a dynamically moving green window for your layups and your skill finishes, so that's something to think about as well. Easier visual feedback for slashers. Here's an example of what could potentially be new animations for James Harden, or a misdirection maybe. Also, 2K talks about an improved help defense logic, and as you can see right here, the help defense doesn't come from one help away, but it sinks to the corner after Wembanyama drops. One thing to also note is they did say that they reworked the pick dodger system, so I hope that that is actually the case, because screens are massively overpowered and they have been for a while now. So look at how seamless a lot of these screen navigation motions are. Hopefully that is actually the case even when the badges are turned up in game modes like My Team and My Career Online. There's a few I left out, but they have a gameplay courtside report blog as well as a video that goes over these details, so do give that a look. So my early impressions are, I'm liking what I'm seeing. The revamp post-game first and foremost is something that I am very interested in. Those step-through mechanics, in my opinion, are great. The emphasis on a lot of these skill-based mechanics, I'm also very wary of for now. I want to see how they are implemented. Like that quick protect mechanic looks like it'll be interesting. The quick catch and shoot mechanic and customizations for your passes and your layup packages, as well as initiating your decels, will be interesting as well. I'm a bit disappointed at the lack of detail on defense, but overall, a lot of these on paper sound really good. The gameplay speed is something I'm also wanting to get more of a feel of. We didn't really get the feel of that with very little raw gameplay, so I'm hoping to see more explosive animations, faster movements, faster explosions, and better stops. One thing I am worried about is the Pro Play motion engine. How dynamic will it be? Will it lock you into certain animations because of a lot of the two-player interactions that are based on machine learning and Pro Play captures? So that we'll have to see and find out. Also, with a pure green window and no RNG, how is 2K going to tune that green window? Will it be super strict like in 2K24 Season 1? Or will it be tailored more towards the casuals? That's going to be crucial, as well as their anti-cheat system. So I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned something new. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. We got more to break down in the coming weeks, but also a few more videos on what we've seen so far. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.